Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by City Manager Mark Roloff. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including items from city departments and things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight some agendas from the upcoming Tuesday, June 28th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in City Manager Roloff. Mark, thank you for being here today.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right. Well, I know a topic that has been of interest to a lot of folks around town is the Jackson and Oregon Street Bridge. And if it's possible to give a little update about where we're at with the repair on that bridge.
Yeah, well, I received an update from the Department of Transportation. There's a big misconception that the bridge belongs to us. It does not, but certainly we care a great deal about it because of the impact that it has on our community. So we attended a briefing on June 16th, and they showed some photographs of the gear for the one part of the lift bridge, and the inspection or the inspector could tell a vibration, and I equate it to a parent knowing cry from his or her child that something's wrong. This engineer knew exactly where to pinpoint the problem, went to it, and this is what they discovered. That gear looks like it's it's sort of separated into two parts. That is one whole gear, and one part of that gear was completely chewed up. So that puts the lift mechanism at risk. Structurally, they assured us that the bridge itself was in good shape, but they cannot rely on the bridge for lift purposes anymore. So from by way of history, the people who travel the waters have priority because they were the first ones to travel this area. So the bridge is in that up position because we have to make sure we provide right-of-way to boat travelers. Of course, there are other bridges in town, which is sort of the logic that the DOT uses to say we have to give priority to boaters. But it looks like the part itself has to get specially made. They've identified a company in Milwaukee that can do it. It'll take about 8 weeks, plus another week to install. So that we got that update a week ago, so probably another 8 weeks before it'll be done. This new gearbox is, they're paying extra to get it expedited, but still, it's probably going to be a couple months, 8 weeks or so from now. So we're looking at late August for it to be reopened to traffic. I certainly can't wait. I know a lot of people, like using the Jackson Oregon Street Bridge. Plus, if something were to happen on Interstate 41, that is the primary north-south road. So we absolutely need to get it done. So unfortunately, in the meantime, the bridge is going to be closed to pedestrians, traffic, bicyclists, etc. And the marine traffic will be able to continue to go up and down the waterway.
And to that point, this is a Wisconsin Department of Transportation issue, essentially, that it's their bridge and they're trying to expedite this repair.
Yeah, on another day and time, we'll talk about the jurisdiction issues, but right now the state owns it, and they're responsible for it, and they've been taking the lead, and I appreciate what they've been doing to try to get it done. But they understand that this is a big inconvenience for the traveling public. It's going to be down. It's not going to be available during EAA week, which is going to be a big inconvenience for people that are staying on the north side and want to travel to the south side. But we'll work with getting the word out on how to get around town with the bridge continuing to be out. But by Labor Day, we should be all in good shape again.
Okay. And if there are any updates on the bridge, we will be posting those on City of Oshkosh social media, Facebook and Twitter. So keep an eye, and if there's any update, we will post it there. Okay, Mark, we've heard a lot of discussion about staffing shortages and those sorts of topics, and the city is not immune to this. So we wanted to point out that maybe there might be some long grass here or there, and we're working hard to get those things addressed.
Well, just like any resident wrestles with this time of year, it seems the grass, you just cut it and it wants to grow again. And this is the hardest time of year from a mowing standpoint. And we've had trouble, just like other businesses, about getting qualified people to fill positions in our landscape operations area. So, I said this a few weeks ago, and it still applies. I'm sort of like the restaurant manager that has to apologize that the service is going to be slow. I know that seems a little bit hypocritical, and I understand it when we send out notices for people not mowing their grass. And certainly understand if you got kids at school that aren't around, they have summer jobs, but we're doing the best we can to get our responsibility filled. This is our responsibility, we know that, but we only have so many people. We've got some great equipment, but they can only drive one mower at a time. And honestly, not all our mowers are operational right now because we don't have enough people to put in the seat. So we're just going to ask you to please be patient with us, understand that. Meanwhile, if you're interested, if you got a kid at home that's over 18 and maybe needs a little time or money, they can certainly apply for jobs here at the Oshkosh Parks Department.
Okay, and the city's website has those positions posted along with several others, so please visit the City of Oshkosh website for the employment opportunities that are listed there.
Very good.
Okay, Route 10, Go Transit, is the route that serves Oshkosh to Neenah, and that connection between Go Transit and Valley Transit, I understand that there's some question whether the county will be renewing the funding for that route.
Yeah, our understanding is that the funding that the county has been providing for the Route 10 is not going to be funded in 2023. And that's certainly unfortunate, because one of the things that people may not realize is, even though it's not a widely used route, and I will certainly admit that, 55% of the riders on Route 10 use it to get to and from work. So this, right now, when we're talking about being short of staffing and things like that, this is important for those people who use Route 10 to get to and from work. And that could be a Neenah person working in Oshkosh or vice versa. Right now, that is a fixed route bus system that we contract with Cobus and Bus Lines to operate 6 days a week.
Okay.
And it's from our transit center to the transit center in downtown Neenah. So it connects to both Go Transit and Valley Transit buses. So that's been a real, it's been a disappointment, because over the years, I think ridership's gone down, but the people who use it really need it. So we have to consider alternatives, because we know that there is a demand, albeit a limited demand, for this type of service.
And there has been some study that's been done at looking at some service alternatives.
Right, even before the county announced that they were no longer going to be funding their share of this, we had contracted with a firm to say, is this really the best model to provide this service? Because admittedly, there is low ridership. The consultant's recommendation is to look at an expansion of what's called an on-demand shared ride taxi service. So you pick up the phone, you call, and you get the service. A lot of logistical issues associated with that, but from a funding standpoint, from an operational standpoint, probably does make the most sense. So we're looking at different options to replace the service and continue to provide workforce transportation. And these are county people that are getting the service. At least half of them don't live in the city. So we're working to make sure we can get federal transit funding, fare box revenues, all the resources we can find, and the county's been part of that. Unfortunately, it may not continue, but we want people to know that they should let their county supervisor know if they think this should be continued, to know about the importance of this service to them.
Absolutely. Contact their county board supervisor if they would like to express an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have an update. The City of Oshkosh has had a water usage monitoring system for our water customers, and it's been about a year that has actually been in place. So we just wanted to remind folks that that's available.
Yeah, we about a year ago, as you said, we started to utilize a service called AquaHawk, and it monitors your water usage and provides users with an estimate of their bill anytime. Probably the best thing it does is you can set a threshold on your phone or your computer, and when your water usage exceeds that level, it'll let you know. So that if you have a leaky outdoor water hose or a leaky toilet and it's using excessive water, and believe me, those little leaks can cause thousands of gallons of usage. People really don't realize it. This, I know someone who in a community had this AquaHawk service. Somehow the kid watering their lawn left the hose on, and it alerted him while he was on vacation, and was able to call back and get the neighbor to turn off the water before they started paying for water that they were it was literally just getting soaked into the ground. So it's a great service. We only have about 1,400 plus customers that are signed up. So we know there's lots of you that can benefit from this. It really does help you control your utility expenses, and it's super easy to use, so easy I even use it myself.
I do too.
And I keep track of it, and I know when the kids are home because they're using the water a lot more. So absolutely look at the website link there. It's super easy to do and set up, and you'll be getting notices in no time.
I had a water leak a few weeks ago, and AquaHawk was able to tell me about it. So very helpful service for sure. People can learn more on the city's website, Hot Topics, and how to sign up and go from there. Okay, the Oshkosh Public Museum has been very active in the community, and they've been working with the Oshkosh Area School District and actually getting into the classrooms.
I'm super excited about this. Our new museum director, Sarah Phillips, has been engaging with the school district to make the public museum and its artifacts relevant to children and get their interest in local history and in going to the museum and things like that. So they've been working with the school district. They've provided over $5,000 in free teacher resources, as well as distributed nearly 6,000 books this spring. But what was really cool is they have these materials that they're providing to the teachers, and they're boxes that are grade relevant, so relevant for third grade. And I was invited to go over and take a look at this, and Tanya Schmidt, who works part-time at the Public Museum and is also the Social Studies Curriculum Coordinator for the school district, she put these packages together so they make perfect sense for the appropriate grade level. And the teachers are using these to help teach local history. I think it's a great partnership. It is totally within the mission of our public museum to reach out to our school children and make them aware of local history. So I'm very excited and proud of that. And you're going to be hearing more about this type of initiative as we go forward, because Tanya Schmidt has been super committed to this and is doing a great job and preparing these materials for our students.
Well, it shows that there's a lot more going on at the Public Museum beyond the wonderful exhibits that they have on display over there. So kudos to them. Likewise, the Oshkosh Public Library actually has a lot of community outreach that's happening, and they have this comfort cabinet that they're working with some other organizations in town.
Yeah, it's really cool how they really repurposed an old card catalog to put these materials out there. So, and everything's labeled, so if there's certain things that certain essential hygiene items that maybe aren't covered by a government assistance program, the library's teamed up with Day by Day Warming Shelter, and it's shampoo, soap, deodorant, toothbrushes, toothpaste, feminine hygiene products, hand warmers, hats, and other types of basic necessities. And it's all free. It's maintained and stocked by the Day by Day Warming Shelter. So we're really pleased to be working with Day by Day to make this available. And I guess there's another one very timely this day and age in terms of another item that's also available that you wanted to talk about, Andy.
Right. We've also heard about a shortage of baby formula, actually. And so the Oshkosh Public Library also has some baby formula available. It's a limited supply, but it's available first come, first serve at the first floor service desk.
Yeah, and it's not a variety of stuff. It's very specific, so you'd have
Right.
to check it out and see if it works for your child. But certainly we want to make people aware of these things, and if they can take advantage of it, that's great.
And one other item is that the library is also distributing free COVID-19 at-home test kits, and they're available for curbside pickup only, just out of caution. But please call 920-236-5203 if you have questions about the COVID-19 tests or any of these services. So a lot going on over at the library as well. We have a lot of festivities being planned for the 4th of July coming up. Pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Of course, our 4th of July parade starts at 9 a.m. It's going to start near the convention center, head north on Main to Irving and east over to Menominee Park. And then speaking of Menominee Park, our annual Festival Foods fireworks show takes place at dusk. Appreciate Festival Foods being a sponsor. Again, they've been doing this for a long time now. And of course, food trucks. We love the food trucks. They're going to be out there from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m. So you can grab a hot dog and watch the fireworks show if you'd like. So we're real excited about those. And again, pleased to have Festival Foods being our partner for the fireworks show.
It's kind of a neat family experience there at Menominee Park. So we're looking forward to that. Spread the word. Come on down to Menominee Park for a great fireworks show. Okay, we also just have some reminders, 4th of July, speaking of the holiday coming up. So we don't have garbage or recycling pickup on July 4th, but everything will be pushed back one day that week.
Yeah, and of course the yard waste drop-off site will be available on July 2nd and 3rd. So you can work on Saturday and Sunday, but we'll be closed on Monday, July 4th.
Right. And also Go Transit will not be providing service on July 4th. And then also just a reminder that City Hall is closed on July 4th, as well as the Public Library and the Public Museum. So just a few reminders.
There we go.
Okay. And also we have budget season coming up. And do we have any meetings coming up for budget planning?
Our first budget workshop is going to be held on Wednesday, July 6th. I believe it's going to be at 5 p.m. right now.
That's correct.
And it's going to be a joint workshop with our Long Range Finance Committee. We're talking about some issues related to debt and things like that. So we just want to get it on the radar for everybody. And if you want to get a little sort of preview of things that we're going to be looking at for the 2023 budget, it all starts here at this workshop on July 6th.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mark. It's time for us to take a short break. Please stay tuned, and we'll have some highlights coming up after the break for the Oshkosh Common Council agenda. We'll be right back.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
I think it goes around.
Let's go. We gotta get you in practice.
And it's set!
Welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming June 28th Oshkosh Common Council meeting. And Mark, we start off the meeting with a presentation, and we're looking at the Boatworks Redevelopment. And is this about creating a new TIF district?
Actually, it's not going to be about creating a new TIF district. A new tax increment financing district isn't necessary in this case because one already exists out there. So we are looking at one of the first developments in this area. And this is what was known as the Boatworks property, along with some property that's owned by the city, our former city sanitation garage. So you can see the Riverwalk where it has the bridge that goes over the little bay there, and the former Boatworks site. So it's sandwiched between where people see Family Video and Marco's Pizza and the old Morgan Door site. So what it's going to involve are really the construction of two types of buildings, one on either side of Michigan Street. So the Boatworks site is to the east, and the old sanitation garage is to the left. So that we're looking at putting in some apartment complexes that'll be affordable for workforce type of housing. So because of its proximity, to the water. Even the renderings show a little bit of kayak action going on. And the idea is that they will be affordable for workforce, and local firm Wiesenberg Architects and Invista Analytics will be there to make a presentation to council about what they're hoping to achieve with this development. We're looking forward to it.
And would there be some other approvals needed down the line with this?
Yeah, this will be twofold. One, it'll involve a development agreement where we'll provide TIF financing through an already existing TIF district, but also the east side of Michigan Avenue is owned by our redevelopment authority, and the sanitation garage was owned by the city, so the city would have to do the land sales to these developers as well. So that's been the vision from day one, so we're excited that the first step in that area's redevelopment is this project.
Okay, very good. Then we also have a public hearing at the beginning of the meeting, and this is for vacating a portion of East 8th Avenue, and this relates to the Sawdust District development.
This is the Sawdust District with T-Wall Development, where they're going from 9th Avenue north to the Fox River, and you can see that 7th and 9th Avenue are clearly marked, but 8th isn't because we're looking at vacating it. 8th Avenue will still have vehicular access off of South Main Street into the development itself, but it will now become private. And the idea behind it is that it'll be able to get the vehicular traffic in, and it won't get built over because we have some utilities there that we still need to maintain, water and sewer over there. So this is how we'll do that, and that will create a nice little central area for this development. And this is a rough rendering of what they're looking at. They're still working out the details, but this is what was presented to the Redevelopment Authority. They were very impressed with the success of this firm, both down in the Madison area as well as up here in the Fox Valley. So we're looking forward to seeing this development going on and maybe get a shovel turned in the next 6 months or so.
A lot to watch over there. Okay. Then we have the consent agenda and several special events coming up, and one of those is relating to, it's for Jazz in the Square, and this is happening on Thursday evenings, kind of the time that Waterfest is happening?
Yes, but it's not competing with Waterfest.
Okay.
The bid is trying to do something that will actually help complement Waterfest. So the idea is that if you're downtown and you want to take in a little bit of jazz before you get to maybe some of the rock and roll music over at Waterfest, that you'll be able to go to Opera House Square Thursdays from 5:30 to 7, and just hang out and enjoy the music and enjoy the atmosphere. And then if you're not too tired and you don't want to go home and go to bed and take in Waterfest, you can just walk over to the Leach Amphitheater. So it's intended to be a great complement to it, totally consciously done. And so we wish the Business Improvement District the best of luck in this getting this program going.
Okay, well, we are Event City, so there's always a lot going on over here. Okay, then later in the agenda we have new ordinances, and kind of probably be a lot of discussion about this particular topic. We have the designated outdoor refreshment area, otherwise known as DORA, and we're looking at a lot of aspects of this here, boundaries and different things. So is there a boundary set for this designated area?
The boundary is one of the issues that the council is going to have to weigh in on, but the DORA itself, designated outdoor refreshment area, is an area that would allow outdoor consumption of intoxicants on our streets, sidewalks, and allow these open intoxicants to be consumed. You can currently consume these types of beverages in our public parks, but it's prohibited on public sidewalks and right-of-way. This would allow that. So the boundaries are still up in the air, and you have to look a little close, but the yellow there is the general outline that was proposed by the Business Improvement District, and it goes all the way up and actually a little past Irving Avenue, and then goes over to Division Street, over to Jackson a little bit, and then just over towards the Leach Amphitheater. Staff is recommending a smaller area because this is being proposed as a pilot project. I think the proposers believe that there's more economic dynamics that can happen with a larger area. Staff, because it's a pilot area, believe it should be limited to the bid boundaries itself, which actually caps it off at about Parkway Avenue.
Okay.
Other than that, the area is generally the same. we're also recommending that we include parking lots. We don't want a situation where we have, perhaps people that think now this gives them a green light to tailgate. This is not Lambeau Field. This is downtown Oshkosh, but we certainly want to, if council wants to do this, we want to give the businesses the opportunity to see how they can perform with this concept.
So businesses do need to participate in this.
Yeah, the businesses, well, it's actually the bars, restaurants, taverns that have liquor licenses. You cannot take your drinks into other buildings. That's actually prohibited by state law, but this would enable you to, if you have an unfinished drink at the end of your meal or something like that, or if you want to walk down to, say, Waterfest or to that Jazz in the Square type of thing, you'll be able to take your drink with you. But the question is how big the area will be, and that'll be something for the council to work out.
Okay, and not only the area for it, but are there designated times or days that this would be in effect?
Yeah, it really is about weekends, including, Waterfest is the kickoff to weekends in Oshkosh. So it would be proposed for Thursday and Friday nights from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's what staff's recommending. And on Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. And the intention of the earlier hour is to correspond with the farmers market. A lot of the downtown establishments have breakfast that they serve at the farmers market, and they serve alcohol, a Bloody Mary or something like that at these events. So if somebody wanted to leave those premises with a drink that they could seal up and take on their walk up and down, that would be allowable under how it's proposed by the bid.
Has there been thought given to trash and noise relating to this?
That's always a consideration, and we've kind of impressed it upon the bid that they'll be responsible for that. I know they're working with a local nonprofit to have a couple pickups by that group, but then we're also expecting if there's any pickup needs in between the times that these groups come and clean up, we're going to expect them to do that because we don't want it to rise to the level where people are being irresponsible and leaving cups and everything. But sometimes there's no room, so they're going to be expected to help clean up.
Any opposition to this that you're aware of?
The only opposition that I'm aware of are some of the groups that deal with drug and alcohol abuse counseling, and I know they're planning to share some of their concerns that we shouldn't be encouraging alcohol consumption. So that's going to be a tough issue for the council to wrestle with. But there's two sides to every issue, and there's certainly competing sides here.
Okay. Then we have a pending resolution later in the agenda. We're taking a look at that Jackson-Oregon Street Bridge for replacement of the bridge. And it seems like the council was inclined to go with a particular fixed bridge design. And do you know where we're at with that? Has there been more discussion?
There were some local businesses, particularly with City Center, that had some concerns. Staff has met with them, and they understand that I think the handwriting is on the wall for a fixed bridge. So we had discussions about which fixed bridge option would be most acceptable or tolerable perhaps. And it was M2, which jogs the bridge a little bit to the west, away from City Center, but still creates a fixed bridge which allows for bike and pedestrian to go under the bridge, which we think is a great idea, and will avoid the lift mechanism issue that's going on right now. But I will be honest, I was supporting the fixed bridge option even before this thing happened with the lift bridge. I just think long term it's more cost effective, and eventually they're going to unload these bridges on us. I don't want to get into that today. We'll do that another day in the interest of time. But this is the option that we're probably bringing before council for consideration.
Okay. And then very briefly, toward the end of the meeting, we might be looking at special assessments and maybe a report coming forward.
Yeah, it's about a fee option to potentially create a fee to replace special assessments. Council's going to be scheduling how we get out with that. And then, of course, we want to let everybody know we've got, we want to get that going, and we want to be very public with it about what options are there.
Okay. Well, I think we're out of time. So, Mark, thank you very much for your insights today. We appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure.
All right, and thank you for joining us today. Again, that Common Council meeting is coming up at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, June 28th at City Hall, 215 Church Avenue. You can watch that live on GovTV, Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or you can listen to it on the radio. That's Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is also online and on the TuneIn radio app for phones and tablets. Again, please join us again in 2 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for watching.